program under Jal Jeevan Mission, the Ministry Jal Shakti Mission. Now, that is covering both urban and rural areas. There is huge allocation, and in certain states, 100% share is taken care of by the government of India, and in other states, some union territories and some few states, 10% is taken care of the states, as well as 90% is taken care of by the government of India. In rest of the states, the share is 50-50. Now, the program was launched in the month of August 2019 by the Honorable Prime Minister. Now, the goal was to cover each and every household of urban and rural area with functional tap connection, household tap connection. Now, at this juncture, after 4 years of implementation of this program, now I am thankful to IPHE that they have organized a discussion session, a technical session on what are the challenges, threats, etc. on implementation of that flagship program of Government of India as well as respective state governments. Now, here, in this session,
with your permission, just a few seconds, I will take few seconds. Actually, we are waiting for the report here anyway. Let me finish a few.
Now, here, report here.
He is coming, just a minute, sir. One thing. On behalf of IPHE, I request Bhashwati to give the memento to D.K. Sengupta. Again requested to give a memento on behalf of IPHE, Pankaj Kumar Roy. Memento to Engineer Shishir Kanti Acharya, and Professor Pradeep Shekar. You keep the memento of rapporteur also, he is coming. At any moment, okay, let us start. Sir, you start.
আচ্ছা, আজকে এই গুরুত্বপূর্ণ সেশনে, টেকনিক্যাল সেশনে আমাদের সামনে আছেন চারজন খুবই লার্নেড ডিস্টিংগুইশড স্পিকার। এরা হচ্ছেন বশিষ্ঠ কুমার সেনগুপ্ত। He has got a lot of experience, he is highly qualified, and he had hold very coveted post. তো এখানে মিস্টার সেনগুপ্ত আছেন, তারপর আছেন প্রফেসর পঙ্কজ কুমার রায়, উনি ডাইরেক্টর স্কুল অফ ওয়াটার রিসোর্সেস যাদবপুর ইউনিভার্সিটি। আছেন আমাদের সামনে শিশির কান্তি আচার্য, উনি ম্যানেজিং ডাইরেক্টর ওডিসি ইনোভেশনস ইঞ্জিনিয়ার্স প্রাইভেট লিমিটেড। আর আরেকজন আছেন প্রফেসর প্রদীপ শিকদার। He is also highly knowledgeable, highly experienced, and will be benefited all. উনি প্রফেসর IIIS WBM, Kolkata Center, Indian Institute of যে সোশ্যাল ওয়েলফেয়ার অ্যান্ড বিজনেস ম্যানেজমেন্ট, উনি দীর্ঘদিন ধরে শিক্ষকতা করছেন। সুতরাং আমরা এই চারজন আছে, কিন্তু এখানে একটা কথা আপনাদের আগে বলছি স্পিকারদের, and particularly addressing the speakers, যেখানে আমরা খানিকটা we are lagging behind because of constraint of time. তো আমি প্রত্যেক স্পিকারকে বলবো টু রেস্ট্রিক্ট হিম, যাতে ওনাদের বক্তব্য 10 মিনিটের মধ্যে সেরে নেন। যদিও এটা ভেরি ডিফিকাল্ট রিকোয়েস্ট ফর মি। তারপর যদি আমরা খানিকটা সময় পাই, তাহলে উইল আস্ক ফর কোশ্চেন্স ফ্রম দ্য পার্টিসিপেন্টস। তখন আমরা আশা করব যে স্পিকাররা ওনারা খানিকটা ক্ল্যারিফাই করার জন্য সুযোগ পাবেন। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ। আমি প্রথমে মিস্টার বিকে সেনগুপ্তকে বলছি।
A very good afternoon to you all. As Chairman has already stated, we are running more than 1 hour and a few minutes late. Naturally, we will be cutting short of our talk, and I think we have had enough about the introduction of the subject. I will not just waste any time in repeating the same. I will just say a few words and then go straight to the PowerPoint presentation. I think I will be, may not be 10 minutes, maybe a few, 1 or 2 minutes more on this. Kindly bear with me. If there is any time, you may feel free to ask me any question whatever on the subject on which I will be speaking, and if it is within my competence, I will try to answer those questions. Okay? Actually, I will start by giving a quote. The World Water Forum long ago observed, many countries face a governance crisis rather than a water crisis. Good water governance requires effective and accountable socio-political and administrative system, adopting an integrated water resource management approach, and a transparent and participatory approach that address both ecological and human needs. On the same line, the Overseas Development Institute echoed the same thing. For the poor, the issue is as basic insufficient counter to ensure survival and the means to access a livelihood. There is a fault line, however, between the idea of government as guarantor of basic service delivery, and in doing so, upholding the notion of social equity and basic rights to services, and more market-based approach that emphasizes cost recovery and the long-term financial sustainability of supplies. Quite some time back, we had the opportunity of having a good number of experts visiting our institute. Everyone came and said about good water governance in Singapore, in Lao Republic, and also in Republic of in Bangkok. What they did not mention that everywhere water is somehow or other is charged, and in our state, the state's policy is that we will not be charging anything for water. I am not competent, or this is beyond my jurisdiction to say anything about it. But only thing that is that it all throughout West Bengal, if you go through all the local bodies, every local body supplies water with subsidy. Subsidy in any economic parlance is not bad if it tries to bridge the gap between revenue earning and revenue expenditure. But how much it is for bridging the gap and how much it is for considering your management lapses is very amusing to conjecture. And you will find that even when the Canal Bank dwellers were resettled in Bangkok, they had to pay charges for water even for their drinking purposes. Now, without wasting any more time, I will go straight to the PowerPoint presentation. I have divided the issue in 3 parts. First part, issues and challenges, number 1. Number 2, what are the practical possibilities of addressing those? And number 3, the sustainability of development program. Please. Hey, what jaldi dao. অনেকক্ষণ বলেছিলাম বাবু দেখে দাও, তখন আমাকে 3 বার বললে কোনো কিছু প্রবলেম নেই, চলে যাবে, হয়ে যাবে। Very hurriedly.
Sir, के
I will
microphone
go
on,
through it
cordless.
very hurriedly.
Cordless
Because the
is-
time is.
Sir.
What are the issues that challenges? Skip it, I have already told you. Skip it. Then next one.
Next one.
Next one. Next one. Okay, what are the basic issues? The basic issues are ever-increasing population, lack of stakeholders' participation, what are accepted as a social good, not an economic good, continued aspiration for better quality of life. As Professor Bundudar has already stated, that we have already known that during the past few years, the parameters for say iron or arsenic has been changed, and we are all just aspiring for better and better quality of life. Then stringent quality considerations, no more low pricing of services, particularly in West Bengal, there is no charge for water. In many of the states in India, there are some charges, and excepting Calcutta Municipal Corporation, where on the basis of Hindu side, some charges are made. Otherwise, there is no charge for water and unaccountable for water. I am not going to explain all this because it will take time. And this goes to about 31 to 37% of the water produced every day as wastage on various counts. And the last part of this is the financial crunch. Next. What are the problem areas? Water scarcity, water quality, population growth, geopolitical changes, agricultural demand, urbanization, economical growth and industry, lifestyle, recreation and tourism, climate change. Next. Now, what are the issues and challenges? Operation and maintenance, water pricing policy, unaccountable water, groundwater, land and technology, financial and institutional management issues. Next. What are the ways forward? What we can do to address these issues? Improved management of municipal tax collection, exploitation of passive assets, use of charges without affecting the poor, harmony between elected representatives and appointed professionals, transparency and community involvement, reduce, recycle and reuse, minimizing wastage, rivers, lakes, water resources protected from pollution, rainwater harvesting and groundwater recharging, interstate and international dialogue for upland fresh water, limited private sector participation and awareness generation through IEC, information, education and communication. Next. Now, what are the practical possibilities I can do within our limited resources and limited possibilities? Limited possibilities. These are, we almost have from the government or administration that allow us to sell 10% of the water produced at any treatment plant to be sold to industrial, commercial and institutional consumers, so that we can earn some money for maintaining the assets already created. Number two, make operation and maintenance an inbuilt item in the project estimate for the first 5 years after completion of the project, which is within our competence. We can move the government, we can move the policy makers to take that step, to that issue. Number three, improve financial health of local bodies through e-governance, better interdepartmental coordination and better property tax collection. 4. Avoid overlapping of jurisdiction and working for cross purposes. I'm not going to explain this. I will just give you an example. In South Kolkata area, we are improving Kalis Nala for various purposes for abating the pollution to river Ganga and other things. And at the same time, we are, because as you know, in Gagapur Guria area, multi-story buildings have come up, and all the buildings, and there is no sewage, and all buildings have septic tanks. The septic tanks effluents are being laid into the Kalis Nala. In one case, we are trying to abate the pollution of Kalis Nala, and in another case, we are polluting the Kalis Nala while allowing the septic tank effluent of those areas to be discharged into the Kalis Nala. Number 2, one thing, you are trying to get good transportation facilities by metro railway. But they are South Calcutta, you are having 6 metro railway stations of the Kalis Nala itself, putting all the portion of the Kalis Nala below those stations veritable heads. The geo value is less than zero, and it is veritable head. If you go to New Korea station, the Kalis Nala has lost its course. There is ground, there is good number of buildings over there, and the river has lost its course. So, if you go to this crossing their Salt Lake, where they are on the canal, you have constructed that flyover, and that way you have obstructed the flow of that canal. That is, you have one way, you are trying to develop transportation facilities. On the other way, you are sorting the flow of drainage in that area, causing not only the canal to be destroyed, but also destroying the ecological balance. Avoid overlapping of jurisdiction and working for cross purposes. Avoid unplanned growth and haphazard urbanization and cleaning up of water bodies, ports and low-lying areas. Go for sustained campaign for general public through mass media, street corner meetings, etc. Enhance local bodies' financial, institutional and managerial skills to take up present challenges so as to give better civic services with accountable service providers and their responsive citizenry. Next. Now I come to the second part of the program about the sustainability of the next. Next, there are many classical examples that is about sustainable development. But in simpler terms, sustainable development is that development which the community can sustain within its economic, geographical, physical backdrop. It is also that development which, after meeting the needs of present generation with all permissible and non-permissible natural resources, sufficient is left there for future generations to survive. Next. It may be forming mind that it is the poor who are compelled to exploit the natural resources to the maximum for sheer existence. And for that, one of the most important aspects of achieving sustainable development is economic upliftment of the community and the society, as also changing the mindset and attitude of the people. Next. Since independence, our urban development agenda has undergone various modifications. At the beginning, it was a land-dependent, supply management-oriented system, which was never eco-friendly and economically viable. The rules required water supply and other civic services free or at a very low cost. Next, scarcity and high cost of developed land, rising prices of oil and fuel, and population explosion have all made development management a very complex task. This has been further aggravated by aspiration for more and more better quality of life. Next, water in all its competitive use has some economic value and is both a public good and a private good, a social good and an economic good. Water which is required for sheer human existence is public, and social good and maybe supplied free for better interest of the society. But any excess water which is private and economic good is very often distributed free with subsidy. Next, subsidy in economic parlance is not bad so long it tries to bridge the gap between revenue earning and revenue expenditure. But how much of it is bridging the gap and how much more is considering the management lapses is very amusing to conjecture. Such free service is opposed to both social equity and distributive justice. The more this is avoided, is better for the society. Next, our development policy framework seldom tried for resource mobilization for sustenance. Local bodies lack institutional, financial and managerial backups to going for long-term goals. Plants and machineries were either in shambles or in need of urgent repairs when they needed most and they could not retain skilled workforce for progress. As Professor Mujutar reminded you, it pains me to say that in West Bengal, particularly in the Greater Kolkata area, possibly I don't know the exact statistics, I retired long back. I think there are 47 and more sewage treatment plants in all West Bengal. I do not think not more than 10% of it is in running condition, and all of them either they are running remaining idle, or running at much more, they are less than rated capacity. Most of the pumping stations do not run. You will be astonished to know that along the Kalis Nala, there are 14 pumping stations. They are all relay pumping stations. That means one pump relays the drainage to the other relays to the next. For some reason or other, the second station does not work. That means all the 14 are not functional. People are there. Every pumping station has 5 persons, all working, all getting their pay, everything. All the sewage of that whole area is going into the Stadel Nala and coming into the river Ganga, where the intersection diversion program is yet to cover fully, and many intersection diversion programs are going to be taken up. Now, next, bottom-up approach variable can give you rich dividends. The fact remains that while the professionals enjoy a good reputation in technical skills, people like grassroots level suffer from heaviness in pending development. There is no hierarchical, pyramidal structures or attractive skilled workforce. Financial credibility of local bodies did not allow them to go in for open market financing. Community participation allows communities not only to reap the benefits of development, but allows them direct the development process, making them vocal and give rise to the community leadership. Next. Our city development policy framework was megacity program supplemented by integrated development for small and medium towns. First time in the history of development, a project mix was chosen. Supplementary commercial scheme, breakable social sector scheme, and graduated scheme for economically weaker section of the society. This scheme will be self-financing with more subsidies. Next. Jawaharlal Nehru Urban Renewal Program was a board-defined form. It was about an annual rolling plan within the ambit of a 5-year planning horizon. The proposal was to divide the development work into holistic, physical, financial, institutional framework with all sorts of pollution: air, water, soil, sound, and site pollution. These also included wetland preservation, forestry, primary health, and primary education. This was obvious and effort converting to better sustenance. Next. The latest approach was the Smart City program based on 3 major postulations. One is the development centers on the basis of population, religious and touristic importance. Second was integrating world-class improvement with existing infrastructure. And the third was creation of green cities. All these had their limitations. It was very difficult to accommodate this program in West Bengal, excepting New Town, London and India. This was a mismatch, particularly for small projects. Right? Cities can never be in isolation. It must be supplemented and complemented with off-site integration. Smart City program was a departure from this. Since West Bengal is a truncated Bengal and there is acute scarcity of developed land, scope of creation of green cities is very limited. A smart city will be an island in itself with all world-class amenities, while the peripheral area will remain neglected is contrary to our planning ideology. Next. One of the most important issues is discipline in the urban governance. The code of practice for water supply stipulates for metro cities 135 APCD only with water supply system. But this is the isolated very often 24/7 water supply with all its merits call for some sort of cess of charge. This is not considered. Not importance is put on either resource mobilization, realization, nor quality surveillance. Public apathy and isolation are responsible to some extent. Next. The basic varieties that call for urban governance are daily in water management, water supply management, water resource management, and water quality management. There are many unmanageable service delivery norms, low or no cost for services, unaccounted for water, inadequate quality surveillance, and enforcement of regulatory measures. Next. Projects and programs become successful only when there is harmonious relationship between elected representatives and appointed professionals. There is security of tenure of professionals, equal incentive of part of all the stakeholders in the development game, and a strong political will. Next. Operational maintenance will not get the importance due to it. Cost for day-to-day operational maintenance and replacement reserve for plant and machinery should be borne by the community. We very often hear examples from Singapore, Laos, Bangkok, etc. for sustainable water supply, but they must speak about water scarce, which is prevalent there. Next. Politics and development do not always make good practice. Quite surprised that when a well thought of scheme was placed to the chief executive of the state for clearance, his remark was that the project is physically implementable, economically viable, and socially acceptable, but sorry, this is politically not acceptable. Next. While long back in a seminar on slum rehabilitation held at Hotel Taj Bengal, the chief guest remarked, "Gentlemen, I am very happy for your concern about the downtrodden of the society, but I am very sorry that both your value and the value are mismatched. It is necessary that to hold workshops or seminars in the manner that the message is articulated at the appropriate level." Next. Planning is a dynamic process and is a continuous one. Every attempt shall be convergence towards sustainability, equitable distribution with less wastage, better effluent treatment and disposal of water, solid waste management, all should have due importance, and priority changing mindset and lifestyle may go a long way in achieving sustainability. We are allowed to go miles and miles before the goal is reached. And in the same way, as I have already told in many of the places, that as in Odisha, the saying is চড়ইপতি চড়ইপতি এগিয়ে চলো ততদিন না আমাদের অভিষ্ট লক্ষ্যে আমরা পৌঁছতে পারি। নেক্সট you want অভিষ্টকে বুঝতে পারি। এখানে আমি দু একটা কথা একটু বাংলায় একটু বলি, যেটা আমার মনে হয়েছে বলা, যে আমাদের একটা বুঝে রাখার দরকার যে প্রফেসর বন্ধু স্যার বলেই গেছেন অনেকক্ষণ আগে আপনাদের, যে 1000 লিটার জল তৈরি করতে প্রায় 6 টাকা 7 টাকার মতো আজকের দিনে খরচা হয়। তার মধ্যে অপারেশনাল মেনটেন্যান্স, যেটা ডে টু ডে রোজগার যেটা খরচা, সেটাতে পড়ে প্রায় 2.5 টাকা 3 টাকা। আর যেটা পাম্প মোটর, যেটা লাইফ কোড অনুযায়ী 10 বছর 15 বছর, কোনোটা পাইপ লাইনের হচ্ছে 30 বছর, প্ল্যান্টের হচ্ছে 60 বছর, যেটা কোডে বলা আছে। এইগুলো যদি রিপ্লেস করতে হয়, তার মধ্যে পাম্প, টিউবওয়েল ইত্যাদিতে রিপ্লেস করতে যে টাকাটা লাগে সেটাকে রিপ্লেসমেন্ট রিজার্ভ, সেটা লাগে 1.5 টাকা 2 টাকা। আর যেটা বেশি লাগে সেটা রিপ্লেস মেইনটেইন করতে, যার আয়ু হচ্ছে প্রায় 40-50 বছর। যেহেতু জল না হলে মানুষ বাঁচে না, এলিজেবেলের লাগে, রাস্তার দিকে দীর্ঘ লাগে, যে জলটা না হলে মানুষ বাঁচে না, সেই জলটা হচ্ছে কিন্তু সোশ্যাল গুড এবং পাবলিক গুড। সেটা কিন্তু সরকারের অথবা সাহিত্য সংস্থা দেওয়ার কথা। আর তার বাইরে যে জল 27 তলা উপরে আপনি বাস করবেন আর সেখানে শাওয়ার তুলে চান করবেন, গাড়ি ধোবেন, বাগান করবেন, সেই জন্য যে জল সেটা হচ্ছে কি ইকোনমিক গুড অর পাবলিক আর প্রাইভেট গুড, তার জন্য আপনাকে পয়সা দিতে হবে। মানে এই যে বললাম, আমি আগেই একবার বলেছি যে আপনি ধরুন কলকাতা কর্পোরেশনের একটা এক্সাম্পল দিচ্ছি, মে নট বি স্ট্যাটিস্টিক্স ইজ এ ভেরি কারেক্ট, যে যদি আমার 100 কোটি টাকা খরচ হয় জল সরবরাহ করতে, তাহলে জল বিক্রি করে, তাদের জন্য জল বিক্রি করে, ফেরুলে দিয়ে জল বিক্রি করে আমরা যা টাকা উপায় করি, প্রায় 55% জল উপায় করি, টাকা উপায় করে 45% আমরা সাবসিডি, সেই সাবসিডি টাকা কিন্তু স্টেট গভর্নমেন্ট দেন। এই সেই টাকাটা কিন্তু হাওড়া থেকে, শিলিগুড়ি থেকে, সব জায়গা থেকে আসে। হাওড়া শিলিগুড়ির লোকের পয়সা দিয়ে কলকাতার লোকেদের জল খাবার কথা নয়। তাই যে কোনো ইকোনমিক পার্লান্সে এটাকে আমরা বলি ইট অপোজ টু সোশ্যাল ইকুইটি এন্ড ডিস্ট্রিবিউটিভ জাস্টিস। এটা হয় না, এটা উচিত না। কাজেই আপনাকে, আপনি যদি একটা বাড়িতে যদি আপনার 5 জন লোক থাকে এবং 100 লিটার 125 লিটার জল খরচ করা যায় না, কত বাড়তি জল খরচ করবেন আপনি? চান করতে, বাসন মাজতে, রান্না করতে, খেতে, নিজে পুষতে, ইত্যাদি করতে যে খরচ হয়, 100 জল খরচ করা যায় না। কাজে 100 লিটার করে যদি জল দেয়, যদি আমরা 5 জন পরিবারের লোক থাকে, 500 লোক যদি থাকে, তাহলে 15,000 গ্যালন যেটা হয়, ওই 6 টাকা করে যদি হয়, 30 টাকা করে মাসে, অর্থাৎ দিনে 1 টাকা করে পার ডে যদি আপনি দেন, তাহলে কিন্তু ডে টু ডে অপারেশন মেইনটেনেন্স এবং রিপ্লেসমেন্ট রিজার্ভটা উঠে আসে, এবং এইটুকু দিলে কিন্তু ওয়াটার সাপ্লাইকে সাস্টেন করা যায়। কাজে আমরা কিন্তু যখনই ট্রেনে উঠবো, কোথাও যাবো, 1 লিটার জলের বোতল কিনবো 15 টাকা দিয়ে, 20 টাকা দিয়ে, অর্থাৎ 1000 লিটারের দাম হচ্ছে 15,000 টাকা। তাতে কিন্তু আমাদের কারোর গায়ে লাগে না। কিন্তু যেই আমরা কোনো পৌরসভা থেকে বা কোথাও থেকে, সরকার থেকে আমরা যদি বলি যে 30 টাকা করে মাসে দেবেন, যেখানে 5 জন পরিবারের লোক আছে, তাহলে সেখানে কিন্তু সমস্ত রাজ্য জুড়ে বন্ধ হয়ে যাবে। এই জন্য আমি বললাম, ইউ মাস্ট হ্যাভ এ চেঞ্জ ইন দি মাইন্ডসেট অ্যান্ড দি অ্যাটিটিউড। অ্যাটিটিউডিনাল চেঞ্জ এবং মানসিকতার চেঞ্জ হলে আমরা জল কেন অনেক কিছুই সাস্টেন করতে পারবো। যেটা বললাম, সেটা করলে কিন্তু আমরা প্লেনিশেবল এবং নন রিপ্লেনিশেবল যে ন্যাচারাল রিসোর্সেস আমাদের ঈশ্বর দিয়েছেন, যেটা মহাত্মিকাজী বলছে, নেচার অর গড হ্যাজ গিভেন আস এনাফ ফর আওয়ার নিড বাট নট ফর আওয়ার গ্রিড। তাহলে আমরা শুধু নিজেরা ভালো করে বাঁচবো তা নয়, আমাদের ভবিষ্যৎ বংশধরদের জন্য একটা বাস্তব দিকে দিকে যাবো। থ্যাংক ইউ।
Thank you very much. বশিষ্ঠ কুমার সেনগুপ্ত, ওনার কাছ থেকে শুনলাম। তো এবারে আমাদের সামনে আরো 3 জন স্পিকার আছে। এবারে আমি রিকোয়েস্ট করব প্রফেসর পঙ্কজ কুমার রায়, ডাইরেক্টর স্কুল অফ ওয়াটার রিসোর্সেস, যাদবপুর ইউনিভার্সিটি। আমি এখানে ইফ আই রিকোয়েস্ট ইউ, যে বাকি যে 3 জন স্পিকার আছে, আমাদের যে চ্যালেঞ্জেস as a professional in the area of water and environmental sanitation, আমি তাদেরকে রিকোয়েস্ট করব যে আমরা একটু শুনতে চাই যে জেনুইন চ্যালেঞ্জেস, ইনফ্রাস্ট্রাকচারের কি সমস্যা আছে। কোভিড, যে খানিকটা কোভিড পিরিয়ড 2019 এর পরে খানিকটা পেস অফ ইমপ্লিমেন্টেশনটা রিটার্ডেড হয়ে গেছিল, হাউ ইট ক্যান বি টেকেন কেয়ার অফ। Number 2, water quality issues, both chemical as well as bacteriological aspects of drinking water. কারণ পোটেবল ওয়াটার বলতে যেটা বোঝায় এটা, তারপর রিসেন্টলি আপনারা বোধহয় সবাই জানেন যে ব্যাঙ্গালোর একটা সাংঘাতিক ফাস্ট গ্রোয়িং সিটি, সেখানে এই যে সমস্যাটা এখন হচ্ছে, ডিপেন্ডেন্স অন বোরওয়েলস, কারণ কাবেরী নদী নিয়ার 60-70 কিলোমিটার অ্যাওয়ে, তারপর বোথ কর্ণাটক গভর্নমেন্ট এবং যে তামিলনাড়ু গভর্নমেন্টের মধ্যে এই যে ঝগড়াঝাটি চলছে, which has been referred to even সুপ্রিম কোর্ট, এখন এই যে বেঙ্গালুরুতে যে সমস্যাটা হচ্ছে, both quantum of water as well as quality of water, quality particularly West Bengal যেমন chemical quality salinity আছে, arsenicosis আছে, তারপর আপনার ফ্লোরোসিসের প্রবলেম আমরা হচ্ছে বিকজ অফ ফ্লোরাইড এন্ড আর্সেনিক কন্টামিনেশন। আপনারা দয়া করে যে আমার যে এখন যে স্পিকাররা আছে এগুলো একটু বলুন। আর ইনফ্রাস্ট্রাকচার আরেকটা বড় ইস্যু যেটা আমরা আমাদের কাছে বিশ্বাসযোগ্যতা, এই যে সার্ভিলেন্স, অথেন্টিসিটি অফ or reliability of the reporting by the different states, সেগুলো reliability আরেকটা ইস্যু যে ওয়াচডগ হিসাবে whether we can, how we can use the role of IPHE, Indian Water Works Association. আমি একটা দেখেছি এই যে ইমপ্লিমেন্টিং অথরিটি, whether it is পাবলিক হেলথ ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং ডাইরেক্টরেট অথবা অন্য কোনো ডাইরেক্টরেটই হোক, তাদের একটা অনীহা আছে যে এই ধরনের এক্সপার্টিস which are available in plenty সেগুলোকে ইনভলভ করার ব্যাপারে। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ। আমি এবারে প্রফেসর পঙ্কজ কুমার রায়কে বলবো ওনার বক্তব্য রাখতে।
চেঞ্জ কর বসে বসে
প্রেসিডেন্টের ওডিসি এটা স্যার আমার ইচ্ছা হয় না স্যার দেখেন
আমি যেটা খুলে দিলাম খুলে
হ্যাঁ ওটাই এই তো আপনারটা এইটাই তো কথা এই নম্বর এইটাই তো
হ্যাঁ ওটা কি হয়ে যাচ্ছে বন্ধ করো
এটা
হ্যাঁ
ঠিক আছে
ওই কি হলো ভুল হচ্ছে নাকি কি হলো কি হলো কি হচ্ছে এটা হয়েছে ঠিক আছে এটা আমি দিলাম ঠিক আছে
Good evening, respected chairman and all dignitaries persons, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear beloved students. Basically, the topics what I have been selected here is a circular economy, and before starting I should like to thank the organizer. Such a wonderful topics. This basically is a sustainable urban water and waste management through good governance. So, keeping in view, so the topics basically the circular economy integration in urban waste management, a blueprint for sustainable governance. Because the time is too short, for us. The 10 minutes the chairman has given. So it's really, I am trying to finish within 10 minutes. Let's see. So basically, if you look into this, the topics, it's a huge topic. So what I am trying to highlight here, one is the solid waste, liquid waste, under liquid waste, the CND waste, the legacy waste. So little bit the good governance. So solid waste, so these are the common things. Due to shortage of time, I am not highlighting. So solid waste basically, as you know, is the unwanted, basically the material by the actually human generated, industrial waste as well as the agricultural waste. Liquid waste basically the washing, flushing or manufacturing process of industries, and gaseous waste basically the automobile factories and burning of fossil fuels. Next. So the source, if you look into the source of solid waste, there are different types of solid waste, and this is the type, different paper type of waste. These are the beans, the color of beans, paper, then glass, then organic plastics. Next, if you look into the generation of solid waste, this is the guideline. Mega and metro cities 500 to 600 grams per capita per day. Then class 1, 2 and 3 cities 250 to 450 grams per capita per day. Then rural is a peri-urban 150 to 250. Then rural, particularly remote area 50 to 150. And year-wise, if you look into this, the solid waste generation per capita in terms of grams per day. So this is the figure. 2000 latest 2020-21 119 is the gram per day. So and this is the overall map. If you look into this, then West Bengal, this is the scenario which is less than 20, less than equal to 22,000 TPD. Next. So our basic target in terms of solid waste management, so 100% solid waste collection, then no accumulation, then obviously elimination of indiscriminate throwing, then sound personnel management, particularly if we look into this, most of the people are not aware, sustainability of solid waste management system. So next. So this is the indiscriminate disposal of solid waste from household in Kolkata. See the scenario, it's really in North Kolkata, southern fringes. So next. So main problem is basically the waste segregation and handling. So this segregation, if you look into this, one is the source segregation as we are highlighting. So it is also depends on one is the organic as well as next is the inorganic, which are recyclable to some extent. Then solid waste, as we know, we would not touch ground except at disposal and treatment site. These are the some of the relevant points with the evaluation of roadside fats. The next. Then collection is very important. So for the solid waste and house-to-house collection, then container based, or as you mentioned already, is a color waste container. So then obviously organic as well as the inorganic. Next. So this is the collection by hand cart. So house-to-house collection is by some of the third party by NGO. Next. Some transportation, primary transportation is a pedal tricycle, self-help group. Then obviously some routine and schedule of pedal tricycle. Next. So then waste recycling, this is very important. Then organized recycling should be encouraged, like paper, textile, glass, then plastics. Next. So if you look into the solid waste management, waste recycling, we have seen it 15 to 20% solid waste is recyclable. And if you consider 1 lakh people in a town generated roughly 40 metric ton per day of solid waste. If you consider at the rate of 400 grams per capita per day, then at least 6 metric ton per day waste can be salvaged for recycling. If you consider the selling value, so obviously throughout the year 6 into 365, 2190 metric ton of recyclable articles, roughly 21 lakhs 90,000 approximately could be generated from solid waste management per year. Then the selling recyclable articles is 21.90 per person per year could be generated. So this is a 20,000 equivalent, 20,000 families of the town may contribute. Then 20,000, 24 lakhs, so roughly 10 rupees per month per family per year. So this is one calculations. Then different management options, then mitigation, the vermicomposting. So this is one technology next. Then household vermiculture units. So basically this type of vermiculture is a one kind of a solid waste management next. So another method is a window composting method. This is another type of method to make it a solid waste management next. So if we go in details little bit, so window composting is a different components, window compost bed, then window formation, window spacing, unloading area, maturation area, screening area, material recovery facility. So in that way we can make it a window composting next. So this is one of the things, the legacy waste, as we mentioned morning sessions, legacy is a very big issue. So legacy waste also is this kind of management action. Actually, this legacy waste by different RTF unit, then package stores, then obviously trommel shed, then different office buildings. So legacy waste also we can make it from there. We can make it already biomining, all these things. Next. This is one of the proposed general arrangement drawing actually, which is basically had been installed in a particular one municipal area, legacy waste, as well as the fresh municipal solid waste. This is one of the units of fresh legacy waste, how we are mitigating, and obviously the fresh waste, how we are generating by window composting. Next. Then waste to energy. The solid waste, as you know, is a big, from solid waste we can make it converted to energy. So that is different step by nitrogen oxide removal systems, then mercury, and then acid gas, then particulate removal systems, then pollution control test. Next. Then this issue is very important issue. So far now we are looking, this is the construction and demolishing waste. So this is very big problems, waste building materials, particularly dredging materials that are produced in the process of construction, remodeling, repair or demolishing of residential building, commercial building and other structure and pavements. So next. So if you look into this in India, about 24 million tons annually disposed directly to waste disposal site without processing. This data is given in 2013, it might be double in 2016. Now, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change notified in Rule 2016, one management rule, CND Waste Management Rule, 29 March 2016, to effectively tackle this issue, particularly pollution and waste management. In Kolkata, particular CND generation is 2000 metric ton per day. So, and creates additional load on the sanitary landfill over the municipal space. Next. So technology, information is a TIFAC. Basically, Information Forecasting and Assessment Council has developed some estimation, particularly CND waste. If you look into this recognition, for new building, for new construction, range roughly 40 to 60 kg per square meter. Then building repairing 40 to 50 kg generation is CND. Then demolishing particular buildings 300 to 500 kg per square meter. As per the norms given by the Authorities Central Pollution Control Board in 2017, given a guideline, the environmental management, construction and demolishing it. So here they have categorically defined the CND waste as per the guideline. The construction and demolishing waste means waste comprising of building material, debris and rubble resulting from construction, remodeling, repair and demolishing of any civil structure. Next. So basically, if you look into this, the CND waste consists of These are the concrete, brick, timber, sanitary, glasses, steel, plasticware. Next. So, utilization. Now, the utilization wise, if you see the constitution, roughly soil, sand, gravel, 36%. Then 23% is the concrete. Then 5% is the metal. 2% is bitumen, 2% wood, 1% others. And 31% is the masonry or brick. Then use is the recycle, particularly see there is a clay, you can make the clay, then sand. From there, this can also make it a masonry blocks and other types. So these are the equipments for particularly handling this kind of C&D waste. The field hopper, pre-screening, washing and aggregate cleaning, trash feed for removal of light weights, sizing screen for waste aggregate, then hydrocyclone system for sand washing, then water management for recycling of processed water. Next. Some of the items which may be used using recycle and C&D waste are as, if you look into this, one is the very important, this is the ready mix concrete. So basically this use in all kinds of construction activities. This is one item. Then hollow brick. This is also used in construction of building and houses. Then pavement block. This is also parking pavements. Then passageways. Then tiles, pedestrian subways. Then carved stones. Then granular subbase. Then manufactured sand. This is used for construction and landfilling purpose. Then aggregate and excavated loose soil. This is another purpose. Next. So recycle aggregate, particularly so particle size distribution as per the norms IS given by the 2386 for different types of crust recycle. These are the some of the parameters. The one is the particle size distribution, then specific gravity and water absorption, then bulk density, then crushing and impact value as per IS 2386, then compressive strength. These are the parameters you have to test it, you have to check splitting, tensile and flexible strength, then modulus of elasticity, then durability, carbonation, freeze thaw resistance. Next. So harmful impact of unplanned C&D waste disposal impose strain on landfill needs. Then hazardous portion of waste such as asbestos particularly could lead to potential harm to the environment. Then illegal dumping affecting the biohabitat of dump area, then potential high value of recycled material, then increasing quantity of C&D waste lead to unsustainable situation, then reliance of mines and natural sources lead to escalating price, unsustainable supply and high transportation cost. Next. So this is the technological options. So far the C&D waste is concerned, then collection, then wave beach, then dry and wet processing. From there, then one is the part is the sealed and loose soil, then process. Then from sealed and loose soil, you can make it a landfill. Then from processed and C&D waste, road making subbase, you can make it because it's a huge amount is road waste for making this particularly subbase. Then making paving blocks, paving tiles and carved stones. Next. So these are the end product. If you see construction demolishing waste, basic product manufactured from waste recycling. This is the aggregate type, and this is the sand, manufactured sand. So then paver blocks, different structure formation paver blocks, ornamental paver blocks, then paver tiles, then carved stones, then hollow bricks, then on the recovered sand as well. Next. So this some of the C&D waste plant already been installed in Delhi. So this is one of the pictures how they are making. So next. Then liquid waste, if you look into the liquid waste, as we know, liquid waste is basically two types. One is the black water, grey water. Black water particularly, which is coming from human excreta and flushing water and ablution water, and obviously toilet cleaning water. And grey water particularly it is coming from kitchen, bathroom, washing place. Next. So liquid waste, if you consider the domestic liquid waste, particularly the source of generation, toilet, bathroom, kitchen, utensil, clothes washing, etc. Next. The quantity estimated as per the norms, rural area and village 50 LPC, 55 LPCD, then towns and without swarage 70 LPCD, then cities and towns with swarage 135 LPCD, then mega and metro cities 150 LPCD as per the government norms. Next, then like this liquid waste we can make it, we can convert it to liquid waste. Particular the liquid waste there is the grey that rural area because 80% of that water supply. So like this 44, 56, 108, 120 accordingly. So next. So next quantity quantity of liquid is 80%. This has already been mentioned. Next. So then black water and grey water, particularly in village, on-site sanitation system is available. Proper drainage system is not available in villages. Accumulation of grey water may cause unsanitary condition, and then proper attention need to be done, particularly for liquid waste management in rural area. So then on-site sanitation, this is 2 port plus toilet before in train, in railway particularly. Now is a bio toilet. We have so many toilet, VIP toilet, EcoSan toilet, but then obviously, so these are the recent examples of the this sanitation system, particularly to tackle the black water scenario. Next. On-site sanitation, this is particularly is a twin pit portless toilet, as a septic tank, then it is our on-site sanitation is converted. So this is coming from this, and so this is the on-site sanitation. Next, off-site sanitation. This is called the off-site sanitation, far away from the houses is the off-site sanitation. Next. Some of the conditions, the sanitary latrine should satisfy the following. These are the criteria. Excreta should not contaminate the soil, should not pollute surface water, should not pollute the groundwater. Next. So technological option, if you look in the household level, this is a kitchen garden with pipe root systems and kitchen garden without pipe root systems, particularly the leach pit and there is a soakage pit. Next. Then technological option for community level management. So plantation is a very good technology with intercepting chamber, then community leach pit, soak away channel, simple process of reuse grey water. Next. So another important issue is the fecal sludge. Fecal sludge is one kind of, it comes from on-site sanitation systems, and it is the solid or settled content of pit latrines and septic tanks. The characteristics of fecal sludge particularly differ widely from household to household and from city to city and from country to country. Next. The septage management, the septage as we know is the liquid and solid materials. Septic tank contains roughly 60 to 70% of solids, oil and grease that enter in. The scum accumulates comprising 20 to 50% of the total septic tank. Probably offensive odor and appearance are the most prominent characteristics of the septage. Next. So this is the fecal sludge and septage management. So how it is captured, storage, transport, treatment, then reuse, which is the fuel, biogas, power generation. Next. This is the current scenario. So from 2013 to 2020, the 2013 publication of CPHE or septage guideline, then 2015 Amrut schemes launch for urban infrastructure includes fecal sludge septage management, then 2016 also INF SSM Alliance, then 17 national policy, then guideline, 2018 several states and UTAs adopted, then 2019 indicators integrated, such then 2020 more than 700 cities and towns in various stages. Next. So this is the some of the fecal sludge septage management. These are low cost and easily scalable sanitation solution, and that focuses on safe collection. Next. So unit operations, fecal sludge treatment, then dumping station. These are the unit. These are the entire process, anaerobic treatment, stimulation of sludge, solid liquid separations, then horizontal construct wetland is a very effective There are several technologies available, but this out of this there is a general of unit operations, then multi-grade filters, the chlorination. Next, some of the technologies and treatment schemes for waste water treatment. So as I mentioned, next. So already mentioned, this is the one type of is a good technology is a facultative pond stabilization pond. So under one is the aerobic zone, anaerobic zone. Next, then waste stabilization pond. So this is without power. So this is a very effective technology. So for the WSP is concerned. Next. So this is one type of liquid waste management through constructed wetlands with plant, without plant. This is also very particularly media, sand, gravel, and even gravel also is only gravel. Then along with the media, the plant. So this is called the constructed wetland through which we can remove the liquid waste and put it at the desirable limit. Next. This is the one kind of a constructed wetland wastewater recycling and reuse in agriculture, if you maintain the quality. So next, this is the conventional treatment. This is a treatment which is a very activated flash process. There are a lot of treatment technology which are available. So for the conventional treatment, so this is one kind of activated flash process, particularly the grip chamber, the primary sedimentation tank, then aeration tank, then secondary through this some of the return sludge through activated sludge process. Then this waste is coming, and then this is the digester, then land application. Next, this is the latest technology. So for the liquid waste management is SBR technology. So there is the inlet receiving chamber, then close skin, then raw sewage pumping station, then stealing chamber, then fine skin, then grit chamber, pulsion fluid, then SBR. This is particularly this is a new, this is latest technology you can say. Fill and drop. This is AR. This is the chamber. Then chlorination. Then sludge pump. So overall centrifuge. Then sludge dyeing bed. So this is one of the latest technologies. So for the SBR is concerned. Next. So these are the flow parameters. Next. So advantage, some of the advantage SBR systems, because earlier WSP was so far the land is concerned, is a huge land requirement, saving power consumption. Other than this activated flash process, then other obviously more than 30% power compared to the conventional. So area is little bit 50% land area compared to conventional technology. So some of the then can handle hydraulic load variation is very important. Next. So this is the treated sewage. Next. So era of digitization, digital ecosystem and waste management. So this is the municipal collection, then rat pickers, and through this the digitization solution, the solution to record transaction at MRFs. Then through MRFs, this basically then waste exchange gives connectivity to recycle. Then from there one is the recyclers, co-processors, then road construction. This is overall the digital ecosystem in waste management. Next. So circular economy, if you look into this, the material recovery facility, one model has been installed by Indore. So this is very good governance, you can say. One is the sorting, is the first sorting into categories of waste. These waste is sorted into 13 categories with the help of the opting, sorting technology and robotics. Yeah. So then convergence-driven approach, then marketed to recycle industries. So this is what is the impact? If you look into this, 606 TPD is a combined utilization capacity 2 MRF in Indore. Then 700 plus rack pickers and kabadis actually have been benefited by direct livelihood opportunity. Then see particularly the Indore Municipal Corporation revenue generated 1.5 crore. So this is the overall some of the key recommendations. The community, the awareness campaign, community training, collaborative planning, infrastructure development, incentive programs, monitoring and reporting. Next, thank you.
Thank you very much. থ্যাংক ইউ প্রফেসর রায়, ওনার কাছ থেকে আমরা অনেক টেকনিক্যালিটিস আমরা শুনলাম, রিচ। তো এবারে আমি রিকোয়েস্ট করব ডক্টর আচার্য, উনি ওডিশি ইনোভেশনস ইঞ্জিনিয়ার থেকে এসছেন, উনি একটু কথা বলবেন। হ্যালো।
হ্যাঁ
আচ্ছা যেখানে আছে এই কোচিটি কি
পাওয়ার কনফারেন্স
প্রেজেন্ট করছে কখন কিন্তু অনলাইনে তাদের প্ল্যাটফর্মে
মিস্টার আচার্য,
হ্যাঁ ইয়েস আমি জাস্ট এটা দিচ্ছি। হ্যাঁ
Honorable audience, I would like to present a PowerPoint presentation on studies of contemporary technologies for removal of arsenic and fluoride from groundwater in perception of contact suction technology. Next. Next. For drinking water treatment and supply, we provide about us. Odissi Innovations Engineers Private Limited is working with innovative ideas for drinking water treatment and supply. We provide best world-class technology for removal of arsenic, iron, fluoride, heavy metal, bacteria, and other impurities present in drinking water. We also provide solar power-based drinking water purification and supply system in rural areas. Next. Objective: during water treatment, two products are formed. Useful product, that is drinking water, byproducts otherwise called waste. Our objective is to provide facilities for safe drinking water free of arsenic, fluoride, iron, heavy metal, bacteria, and other contaminants present in water. We are also committed to take care of the safe disposal of the waste. Worldwide arsenic. In the world, around 39 countries are found to have arsenic problem in groundwater. These countries are listed here: Argentina, Australia, including Germany, Sweden, Thailand, Japan, USA, India, Bangladesh, etc. In India, arsenic has been found in the state of Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand, Assam, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Tripura, Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, West Bengal. In West Bengal, arsenic contamination prevents the district of North Bengal, Kolkata, South Bengal, Kolkata, Nadia, Murshidabad, Malda, Howrah. Bangladesh, arsenic crisis is very much prominent in Bangladesh. It is one of the worst cases of environmental toxicity. 50 out of 65 districts
covering nearly 85% of total area of Bangladesh have arsenic contamination in groundwater. About 25 million of people in Bangladesh are exposed to arsenic contamination by drinking water. Some arsenic chronic diseases, chronic arsenic melanosis, pigmentation, these are some diseases caused by arsenic drinking water. Arsenic contamination. Next, all this pigmentation, keratosis. Next, keratosis. Next. There are worldwide arsenic problem already. I told that around 40 countries are having arsenic problem in their groundwater. Next. Okay. Arsenic, we find arsenic in the water and in the following that is called arsenious acid, arsenate, monometallurgic acid, monometallurgic acid, dimethylarginic acid, dimethylarginous acid, dimethylcycline oxide. Arsenic removal technologies, there are oxidation as one arsenic removal technology, coagulation and filtration, ion exchange resin. Next, membrane method. Other emerging technologies, there are some other emerging technologies like nanofiltration. Let us. Okay, next. Substance, ion exchange and absorption. Okay, next. Active manganese oxidation, arsenic mineralization, nanotechnology. One important thing is that boiling does not remove arsenic. Oxidation, there are technologies, air oxidation, chemical oxidation. Advantages are shown here. Relatively simple, low cost, but slow process. Disadvantages also shown. Next, coagulation, precipitation, alarm coagulation, iron coagulation. These are the some methods for removal of arsenic. Next, membrane techniques, reverse osmosis, nanotechnology, electrodialysis. Reverse osmosis is a high capital cost, high O&M cost, toxic cost is generated, and nanofiltration. Nanofiltration does not remove. These are same as reverse osmosis. Okay, next. These are filtration and separation comparison, microfiltration, ultrafiltration, nanofiltration, reverse osmosis. Absorption technology. There are some materials which have got some properties of absorption. Activated alumina, granular hydrogen hydroxide. Okay, next. Nanotechnology, it's an emerging technology developed by IIT Madras. But yet the field studies are yet to be ascertained. Next, treated laterite, it is also developed by IIT Kharagpur. Also, field studies is not so much known and may not be very much useful for big water supply system. Okay, next. Now there are some modern technologies, but emerging technology, Purolite, Dream Coil, Heats 100, Heats, Nano 100. These all are to be that is, have some field experience, field studies to be done to ascertain the effectivity of these technologies. Next. These are the capacity of arsenic removal by different absorbent media. Said has got some laterite, 10 gram per liter dosage is equal. Activated aluminum removes arsenic very efficiently, and in this mix, it is that is depicted that hydrous granular ferric oxide removes arsenic to the tune of 92 to 99%. Okay, next. Selection of optimum solution for removal of arsenic. Actually, adsorption media are too much costly. So, for larger arsenic removal system, there should be some cost-effective method. And for selection of optimal solution, high removal efficiency should have high removal efficiency, affordability, general geographic applicability, compatibility with other water treatment process and process reliability. Next. Contact suction technology is one of the best technology because it is widely used in the field. Especially we use this technology, and almost it is developed by us also. Okay. The advantage ensures product quality within maximum contaminant level. Modern technology safe and affordable, compact space requirement is very less. In respect of technology for system of 100 meter cube per 100 meter cube per hour for indigenous technology used by IPHE, the space requirement is about 50 kata. In respect of our contact suction technology, the space requirement may be 4 kata. Okay. Compact space requirement is very less. No secondary pump is required. Only single pumping, primary pumping is sufficient for the whole system. No waste water, backward water is recycled. Power consumption is negligible, and aspect residue is very minimum. Next, this is schematic diagram. Next, process description. Next. Okay. Okay. Next. Some plans. It's a plan. Next. Next. Okay. Okay. We have got 2 patterns, one for removal of arsenic and one for removal of fluoride. So, okay, next. Quickly. Good. So, actually, we are in the field and we have got very wide field experience, and that's the conception. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity to describe about the methodology. Okay. Enquiry. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Acharya, and for inviting us on arsenic removal, the problem of arsenic, mitigation of arsenic contamination, etc., etc. Thank you very much. Now, we have the last speaker in this session, Professor Shingda from Indian Institute of Social Welfare and Business Management. Please try to finish within 12 to 15 minutes. Please.
Okay, thank you for the organizers for inviting me. And I know it's late. I'll try to finish it off fast because I'm going to talk on groundwater system. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to skip most of my slides and I'll go right into Kolkata. I think that would be better for all of us. You know? Next, please. Fast. Move. একদম ফাস্ট করে দেন। চলুন হ্যাঁ। যারা দেখবার তারা দেখে নিন খালি স্লাইডগুলো। যারা দেখবার তারা দেখে নিন। আচ্ছা একবার লাস্ট স্লাইডটা একবার দেখুন। আগের স্লাইড, তার আগের স্লাইড। হ্যাঁ বাস এইটা একটা দেখুন। This is an important slide. Look at Kolkata. Look at the stage of groundwater development. The stage of groundwater development of Bengaluru and Chennai is an overexploited state, so more than 100%. And look at Kolkata, we are nearing that overexploited stage, we are in a critical state. So we have to be very careful with our groundwater. Next. Okay, next slide. But now this is Kolkata. Okay, look at how Kolkata is surrounded. We have the Bhapa solid waste cleaner. Many of us have talked about this. We have this wetland, we have Rajarhat, we have salt lakes, we have agricultural land, we have this weather complex. So it's a hotspot. Kolkata is a hotspot. Groundwater will be flowing from all this area into this. May or may not be. Is it flowing or not? I'm going to show you later. Okay, next please.
Sir, please use the mic.
Okay. Target slide. In order to understand Kolkata's groundwater, we need to understand the subsurface geology. Okay, look at the subsurface geology. We have the Holocene grey clay, okay, up to 15 meters from the ground level, and then you have up to 40 meters, you have the late Pleistocene brown clay, followed by Pleistocene sand, and this is where we have our aquifer. Okay, and below that we have the Pliocene, below 300 meters, we have the Pliocene clay. So this becomes the basement of Kolkata's aquifer. Next slide. Okay, now here it is up to 300 meters. Now at the top you have grey clay, and then you have the brown clay, and in very small part of Kolkata, that's near this Talis Nala, and in some other small pockets, this grey clay, which is protecting the Kolkata's aquifer, is actually missing. So, Talis Nala is very, very vulnerable. Below Talis Nala, it's very, very vulnerable to pollution. So, therefore, we need to clean Talis Nala. Okay, we need to keep it clean. Okay, and then these colors are also very important. If you have, from the point of view of arsenic, now if you have brown clay, and below that brown clay, if you have brown sand, and if you put wells in that brown sand, definitely you're going to get arsenic-free water. But if you look at over here, you have grey sand, And if you put wells below this grey sand, wherever you have grey sand, you are, the likelihood of getting arsenic is very, very high. And that's all across Bengal Basin. We have studied the entire Bengal Basin and we see this is the general picture of Bengal Basin. Okay, so this color is very, very important from arsenic point of view. Next slide. Now this is a three-dimensional view of Kolkata subsurface lithology, where again, see this is your Adi Ganga or the Talis Nala, where you are going to get this clay, the upper clay is missing. Because of this upper clay is missing, so therefore Talis Nala, below Talis Nala is always vulnerable to pollution. Next please. Now let's look at the trend of urbanization in Kolkata region. Next. See, look at 1985. This is the total area was 529 kilometers square. That was our study area. And out of this, in 1985, 27% was urbanized. This red color is the urbanized portion or the built-up area. Now, from 27% in 2016, it jumped to 46%. So that's how the trend of urbanization took place. Next slide, please. And in 2019, it is around 48%, I believe, or 49%. Okay, so therefore 22% increase in built-up area in 34 years, and that has a remarkable impact on the groundwater system of Kolkata and neighboring areas. Okay. See, this is Kolkata's, the trend, the built-up area. From 1985, it was 45%. Jumped to 2019 to 72%. In Howrah, from 49%, it jumped to 68%. That's again the trend of built-up area in Kolkata and Howrah city. Okay, next slide, please. Now let's look at Kolkata's water supply. That's the actual water supply which the corporation gives us. And actual requirement of water is actually 1245 million liters per day. So therefore, 782.5 million liters of water is wasted per day, which comes to around 38.6%. So that's, it's a criminal offense, I believe. Next, please. Let's look at the groundwater development pattern. From 1956, it was 55 million liters per day. Next, 1989, 182 million liters per day. Next. Present, Present 305 million liters per day, and this was calculated based only on the Calcutta Corporation wells. Okay, so from 55 million liters in mid-1950s, we jumped to 305 million liters. So that's a huge jump of groundwater extraction. Next slide, please. Now, this is the hydrogeological consequences of over-extraction of groundwater in and around Kolkata. Next slide. See, this is model derived basically, and this is a pre-development, that is the natural flow condition. In natural flow condition, the groundwater was actually, if under natural flow condition, the groundwater was flowing from northwest to southeast. That was the main flow direction. That means this is an open flow system. Okay, now next slide. Now 1956, we still had this open flow system. The flow was from north to south. And then from 1985 onwards, you see that there's a complete reversal of the groundwater flow system. Aage chilo hochchhe open flow system, now it's the closed groundwater flow system, and this closed groundwater flow system continued in the 1990s also. Okay, and even both during the pre-monsoon and post-monsoon period, the same thing was there. Only difference was that there was a fluctuation of the piezometric surface. Next slide, please. Now, this is under 211 pumping pre-monsoon condition, where you can see this is the minus 10 meters, piezometric surface contour. That means, this area, the water level, the piezometric surface was below 10 meters below the mean sea level. Next slide. Now, the same, it's in 2016. Just see how the trough has moved. Here now, you have the minus 16 meters contour over here, and the minus 10 meters contour. This is the minus 10 meters contour, this is. And see, look at it, has shifted from Kolkata towards Howrah side. So Howrah has now been affected of this water level, this trough. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, this is the future. This is again a model output. What would be the possible future condition in 2030? And again you see this is the trough now where the contour level is minus 19 meters below the ground level. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yes. See, look at what I have done. I have taken the 1985 the contour, the trough minus 10 meters. And then I have seen how this minus 10 meter trough line has actually shifted. Okay. Now from this is your 85 and now this is your 94 scenario. This is shifting more towards the east, and then this is color is from 2003. So look at in 2003, this is the minus 10 meter contour. Okay. And then again in 2016. See, look at 2016, this is the minus 10 meter contour. So even your East Kolkata wetland, is now under this minus 10 meter contour. And then in 2030, okay, see, look at the Howrah has also been included. So this portion, this entire portion will be under this major groundwater trough. So therefore the entire urban, peri-urban, rural area would all be affected because of this huge groundwater pumping in Kolkata and neighboring areas. Okay, next. Okay, now, what are we doing? Let me explain one thing. As a member of an SCAC, what I have insisted that all activities, any developmental activities in and around Kolkata or in West Bengal, you need to have rainwater harvesting except for industrial, rainwater harvesting and artificial recharging except for industrial areas. Industrial areas can have rainwater harvesting but not artificial recharging. And in every developmental activity, it is a must to put a piezometer. Okay, the piezometer, even if you are not extracting groundwater, piezometer is a must. We are putting in conditions that we have to install piezometer and we have to put automatic water level meters, and from that you have to regularly monitor your water level. Even if you are not pumping water level, pumping groundwater, because you are recharging, so therefore you need to also have a piezometer, and that piezometer would help us to analyze how this recharging is helping us. Okay. Now, this is, again, see, these are the areas, the red areas are basically the built-up area between 1985 and 2016. This is where there is an increase in the built-up area, and this is how the trough also increases. So therefore, you can see that there is a complete or a positive impact of urbanization on the groundwater system. Next. Now see, in some of the wells in Kolkata which we have monitored, over the years, see, the piezometric surface is actually having a falling trend, both in the pre-monsoon and in the post-monsoon season. So that means, the aquifer is unable to recharge, because of your pre-monsoon pumping. So therefore, your post-monsoon pumping is post-monsoon water level is going down, and that's a very bad scenario for Kolkata. And this could lead to not only chemical quality deterioration of the groundwater, but also the extreme state it could we can land up into land subsidence. Next, please. Okay, see, look at how because of this pumping when there was no pumping in the groundwater system, this was our recharge area of the Kolkata's aquifer. Okay, now because we have pumping, the recharge area has shifted closer to the discharge areas. And so here you have some arsenic polluted areas from where water might move into Kolkata's aquifer. Next, please. Now let's look at some land subsidence in Kolkata. So this was the first map, of land subsidence in Kolkata, where around this, Dhapa area, you can see the land subsidence was estimated to be around 13 millimeter per year. Next. Now, this was again, done by my student she worked on this East Kolkata wetland, and this was the map that was produced for land subsidence in East Kolkata wetland, where you can see, so these are the areas where you could possibly have high land subsidies. Next slide, please. Now, this is the latest one. In 2021, we came up with this map of this entire area, and again, see, these are the areas where these red areas are the areas where the land subsidence is the possibility of land subsidence is very high. Next slide, please. Now, all these were calculated by using this Dominico's equation. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. So Chatterjee et al. Also, he also worked with this INSAR, and that is your differential synthetic fracture interferometry, and they showed that during 1992-98, this Raja Bajar, Calcutta University, Meshwa Bajar, Raja Science College, all this entire area was going, the land subsidence was taking place. Okay, next slide, please. Now, this is the latest one where the Shastri et al. In 2023 came out in Natural Hazards, where these yellow colors are actually, they are showing the subsidence for the year 2003 and between 2003 and 2011. And you can see in 2017-21, the western part and the eastern part of Kolkata is has come under this ambit of land subsidence. So we are actually, under a very critical stage from groundwater point of view, where land subsidence could take place at any moment. And the land subsidence, you all know that during this metro railway tunneling, land subsidence did take place. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is, next slide. Now, visible evidence have not yet been recorded till the incidents at Bobajar. But again, Bobajar's incident was possibly one because of urbanization, but may not be because of groundwater abstraction for drinking purpose. That is the difference. Okay? And the surface expression is cryptic because of the time lag between the settlement of the thick low permeable upper aquitar and its surface expression. We have a thick around 40 meters of clay, and the permeability of the hydraulic conductivity is very low, and that is actually helping us. So that is why land subsidence, visible evidence of land subsidence is not yet discernible. Next slide, please. Now, this is the metro railway line. So this was the track actually, and the land subsidence took place over here. Next slide. Now, this was, some of the tracks developed, the building collapsed. Next slide. Now look at, the aquifer or the subsurface lithology. Now this is the subsided area, and you can see that the thickness of the clay over here is only 15 meters. So, and there, you have the sand over here, and this sand is continuous, so therefore this is basically aquifer system. Okay, next slide. So these are two. Now look at, this is the subsided area, and this is the isopack of the clay. And you can see here, the thickness of the clay is 15 meters. And now, when this tunnel boring machine was, they were boring, what happened? They hit the sand aquifer because they were boring at around between 14 to 17 meters. Okay? And when they were tunneling, they hit the sand because they were tunneling, when they were coming from this Ganga side, they were cutting through the clay. And then when they entered this area, they hit the sand. And when they hit the sand, the entire sand body, the water from the sand body came inside the tunnel, okay, and filled up the tunnel. And as the aquifer was dewatering, simultaneously from the upper clay, there was dewatering of the clay into the aquifer. And so therefore, the clay lost water. The volume of water that was lost by the clay, that came up on the surface as the volume of land subsidence that took place, and there was around 10 millimeters of land subsidence in that area. Okay, next slide please. See, and look at this is another important thing. Now this is the base of that clay. This is the aquifer, this black line is the base. And this is the mean sea level. And look at the piezometric surface or the groundwater level. It's all below the base of the confining bed. So simple thing is that if the piezometric surface or the water level is below the base of the confining bed, then the aquifer, which was confined in nature because of that clay, 15 meters clay, it was acting as an unconfined system. And since it was acting as an unconfined system, all these areas are always vulnerable to this land subsidence. Okay, so any place where the piezometric surface is below the upper clay, land subsidence can take place at any moment. And here, possibly, the subsidence was going on, but because of this tunneling, the aquifer suddenly lost huge quantity of water, and therefore the aquitard and the upper aquitard also lost water, and so therefore there was this land subsidence which took place in over that area. Okay, and this is primarily because of lack of knowledge of the subsurface hydrogeology. Hydrogeology should have been known by those who are constructing this tunnel, but they did not have any idea. They thought, possibly, I believe, it's my personal belief, I may be wrong, they personally thought that everybody talks about a 40-meter clay, and possibly they thought that this clay is a continuous one, but Kolkata's aquifer, the clay is undulating. At places, you do not have that clay, and at some places, the thickness of the clay is even around 60 to 80 meters. So from 0 to 80 meters, that is the difference. And we only talk about 40 meters because that's the average thickness. So possibly they had that in mind, and below the Ganga, there was no problem. They cut through it because I haven't shown that below Ganga, the clay thickness was more than 55 meters. So there was just no problem. Okay, I think okay, fast. Okay, next. Okay, next. This important thing, this quality. So look at this map. This is chloride by bromide by concentration of chloride. This is a mass ratio of chloride by bromide. Now, if your water sample chloride by bromide ratio falls in this area, that means there is a wastewater contamination. Now, if it is on this line, this is the seawater mixing line, so that means there is some evidence of seawater mixing in your groundwater. And if it falls over here, this area, that means your groundwater is fresh. Now let's look at Kolkata. Next slide. Now look at this. Look at this. So many of these samples are in this area. So that means Kolkata's groundwater, you have evidence of wastewater contamination. And this wastewater contamination has gone down to a depth of around 130 meters. Okay? And if you look at on the map, if you convert this into this location, see all these points, majority of the points are adjacent to the Tolly's map. Okay, and you do not have the clay cover. So Tolly's Nala from Kolkata's point of view is very, very vulnerable. And if you look at the next slide please. So this is, this is the arsenic contamination in Kolkata. Remember one thing, in Kolkata there is no evidence of geogenic arsenic pollution except in this area where you have near this Tolly's Nala, where you have anthropogenic arsenic. This is not geogenic arsenic. Kolkata is lucky to have this brown clay and the brown sand. So therefore, it's difficult to get arsenic, except in this area. And unluckily, we had a factory over here, an industrial plant, which used to produce Paris green. Paris green is basically a rodenticide to kill the stem borers. Okay, and that contained arsenic. Okay, so from here, so let's go to the next slide. So these are the areas. So look at this slide over here. See, here you have this brown Pleistocene clay all over Kolkata. You have this brown clay, you have this grey clay, and then you have this brown sand. But here, look at near Tolly's Nala, you do not have this. So therefore, there was continuous pumping of water, and this was, unluckily for Kolkata again, this plant or this industry was situated right over here. And so therefore, all the waste that they dumped in their backyard, with time, because of huge pumping in the surrounding area, the vertical velocity increased, and so therefore, all these arsenic from here moved into this, and you have this arsenic polluted wells over here. But luckily, with time, from 1985, this was first detected. Now, if you look at now, the concentration is actually waning. So that's a good sign for Kolkata. And in other areas, we had analyzed around 280. Out of 280, only 13 wells contained arsenic, and that too only in this area. And in the rest of Kolkata area, there was no trace of arsenic. Next slide, please. Yeah, I come to the conclusion. Yeah. Next slide. So therefore, the impacts of urbanization on groundwater systems are predicted. Now we can predict it if we understand the system. If you do not understand the system, you can never predict. So therefore, first is to understand the system, and should be considered in urban planning from geotechnical, environmental, and water resources perspective. Now there could be 5-pronged approach to sustainable groundwater management. Augmentation of water resources and storage. Continue. Next, use of treated municipal wastewater for industry. Reduce, reuse, and recycle of water in industries and buildings. Successful and sustainable wastewater management that supports peri-urban agriculture. Next slide, please. Next slide. Before initiating any underground construction project such as that of East-West Metro or any tunneling in Kolkata area, the subsurface sedimentary architecture, piezometric surface configuration, and groundwater quality at a regional and local scale needs to be understood and characterized. Based on this study, possible dewatering and groundwater management, potential problem prediction, risk analysis, and disaster management plan in case of extreme events can be chalked out, and which was lacking, sadly, in case of metro railway line. Another important thing, a program of regular water level and water quality monitoring of selected wells will serve as an early warning system for impending arrival of contaminants in water supply wells. From Kolkata's point of view, caution is warranted regarding development of any new well fields in the area around the city, especially in the floodplains of past channels, where vertical values of hydraulic conductivity could be higher than model and downward flow of contaminated groundwater could be swifted. So therefore, we have to find out where are the paleo channels in Kolkata and surrounding areas, and you should not put in any wells in those areas. I think that's the end. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor শিকদার। আমরা আপনার কাছ থেকে অনেক কিছু শুনলাম, particularly on exploitation of groundwater. Over exploitation of groundwater যদি হয় তাহলে তার কি এফেক্ট, জিওহাইড্রোলজিক্যাল কন্ডিশনের উপর কি এফেক্ট, সেগুলো ওনার কাছ থেকে শুনলাম। রিচার্জ কিছু শুনলাম। এখন গ্রাউন্ড ওয়াটারে যেটা আমি একবার বলেছিলাম যে গ্রাউন্ড ওয়াটার ওভার এক্সপ্লয়টেশন, বেঙ্গালোর এখন একটা হট ইস্যু। বেঙ্গালোর সবচেয়ে বড় শহর হয়ে যাচ্ছে, আইটি হাব, সিলিকন সিটি অফ ইন্ডিয়া। এখন এটার মধ্যে মোর দেন 1000 MLD ওয়াটার সার্ভ হয়, ড্রিঙ্কিং ওয়াটার সার্ভ হয় ফ্রম গ্রাউন্ড ওয়াটার। এখন দেখা গেছে মোর দেন 80% অফ দ্য বোরওয়েলস আর নাও ড্রাই। কত নিচে নামাবেন আপনারা যে সাবমার্জিবল পাম্পটা, একটা লিমিট আছে, রিচার্জ এবং এক্সট্রাকশন, তার মধ্যে একটা ব্যালেন্স। এইসব ব্যাপারে আমরা ওনার কাছ থেকে শুনলাম কি করে কন্টামিনেশন হচ্ছে। এখানে একটা কথা বলি যে পশ্চিমবঙ্গে যে আর্সেনিক মিটিগেশনের যে মাস্টার প্ল্যানটা হয়েছে, সেই মাস্টার প্ল্যান অনেক টাকা খরচ করে হয়েছে, নিয়ার অ্যাবাউট 3000 crores। তার মধ্যে 55% of drinking water supply provision রাখা হয়েছে from ground water source, 45% from surface water। এখন এই যে অ্যাট্রাকশন, ওভার এক্সট্রাকশন, এক্সপ্লয়টেশন, contamination, further contamination with groundwater on the groundwater, এই যে মাস্টার প্ল্যানের উপরে হবে। তো আমরা থ্যাঙ্কফুল যে এখানে প্রফেসর আমরা পঙ্কজ রায়ের কাছ থেকে বিকে সেনগুপ্তর কাছ থেকে আমরা শুনলাম জেনারেল ডিসকাশন, উনি রাইটলি এজিটেটেড দ্য ইস্যু। তারপর আমরা শুনলাম পঙ্কজ রায়ের কাছে সলিড অ্যান্ড লিকুইড ওয়েস্ট ম্যানেজমেন্ট, উই আর এনরিচড। তারপর আমরা মিস্টার আচার্যার কাছ থেকে শুনলাম আর্সেনিক মিটিগেশন অ্যান্ড দেন হাউ উই ক্যান প্রবলেমস অ্যান্ড মিটিগেশন, ইনোভেটিভ মিটিগেশন প্রসেস। আর এবারে তো আমরা শুনলাম প্রফেসর শিকদারের কাছ থেকে। Thank you very much. Thank you. Now,
Thank you.
I don't know whether the organizers
Thank
will allow
you.
you to take any question.
Actually, audience থেকে যদি কিছু কোশ্চেন না থাকে আমরা তাহলে come to the conclude part. Thank you very much for the chairman of the session, Engineer Chandrasekhar Gupta, along with the speaker. Those have nicely presented their specialized topic. With the permission of the chair, we are going to do declaring the closing of the program. Our IT arrangement is there. All of you are requested to go and take the snacks. Tomorrow, one thing, our second technical session will start from 10:30. All of you, are particularly those who are interested in the subject, they are requested to come by 10:30 positively, okay? We'll start from 10:30. So with these few words, we are declaring the closing of the program today. Namaskar.